Hello everyone, this is Ryan Miller with North Carolina Building Performance Association. I'm in Denver today, meeting with Nathan Kahre of Thrive Home Builders. Nathan is a former resident of North Carolina, and is working here in Denver for Thrive Home Builders, and so we're going to be talking today about his career and his education and what he's experiencing in the industry, and just get a little bit of wisdom from him and some advice on what young professionals and students can be expecting in the industry, and some of his advice for them. So, Nathan, thanks for joining us today.
No problem.
Yeah,
Glad to be here.
Glad to be here as well. So, thanks for having us here in Denver. Long way for us from North Carolina, but I think we'd love to see you be working in North Carolina, but we're very happy that you're here in Denver. So, just give us a little bit of a, just where are you with your career right now, and what are you doing, and then we can maybe kind of go back a little bit from that point.
Well, I got a great opportunity to come work with a really innovative production home builder here in Colorado. Thrive really specializes in high-performance, healthy homes, and I work here. My title is High Performance and Healthy Home Manager,
Okay.
which is a mouthful. I kind of go by Chief Energy Nerd most days, and that works out pretty well. So I've got a great opportunity and really get to interact with all parts of the company. So I get to work with our design team and really working on new homes, improving existing homes, and how we can really design the best product that we can. And then it's going into the specifications and working with our purchasing team. And then some of my favorite times are really going and getting out in the field, working with our project managers, showing them, giving them a little bit of the know-how, and helping them build the best home they can.
Okay. So, do you see yourself as like an internal consultant for, green and healthy homes, kind of?
Yeah, that sounds very accurate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or chief energy
Or
building
chief-
science nerd?
Yeah. That is exactly what I do. Yeah.
All right. So, maybe a good question then is, what education and experience does it take maybe to be in a position like this for you, where you're working for new construction, single family, green,
Yep.
and high performance home builder? So for you to be able to serve Thrive in a way that is beneficial to the project managers and other folks,
Yep.
what do you need to know to be in that kind of a role?
A great background in building science helps. Understanding any of the third-party performance programs, Energy Star, DOE's Energy Ready, and Aurora Plus LEED. Knowing all of those really helps. That can be a big part of my job, understanding how we're going to remain compliant with those programs and continue to work forward. And then also just a bit of hands-on knowledge, a bit of knowing how the home goes together, knowing when you can make the biggest impact is really important. And then also knowing, just knowing the guys always helps. It sounds a little silly, but I think it took me about 6 months to really get to know them. And once I knew them, I was so much more better helps. Just knowing people really helps.
So I think one of the things that we've heard from people in our industry is that even though as much building science is maybe important in your role, communication skills and
Absolutely.
just being nice to people and being able to communicate well with people. Would you say that's been important for you here?
Important.
Super important.
Super important. Yeah. Understanding that I'm the nerd in the room pretty much always, and understanding that unless I'm at a conference, I'm going to be
the outlier.
I'm going to be the outlier,
Okay.
and understanding that I can't speak like an engineer if I really want them to understand what they're doing.
Okay. Okay, that's a good way to say it.
Yeah, not anything bad on engineers. I'm not an engineer, but I know their speak.
Right, and I'm not a building scientist, so I probably won't be able to get too technical with you, but so let's go back a little bit then.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to start with, this is what you're doing right
Yeah.
now, and this is kind of some of the things you're seeing. But I guess you and I first met a couple of years ago, really,
Yes.
at App State. So can you tell us just, you were in school, maybe this is what you thought you were interested in, and then through the course of the process to really where you are now. So just kind of take us through what those steps were for you.
Yeah, so I had gone to ETSU for a construction technology degree, construction engineering, construction management, and got out of it and was just not really impressed with what I saw in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent a little time helping some friends start up a solar company, and then spent a little time doing some weatherization work, and I got tired of crawling in attics,
Yeah.
and I decided I was going to go back for a degree. And App State was the place to go.
So is this a commercial for App State in Boone and their
Yeah.
Building Science Sustainability Technologies program right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Just to be clear.
Just to be clear, great, incredible program,
Right.
great teachers, great hands-on knowledge there. And so at that point, I knew I wanted to work in high-performance construction. I didn't know if I wanted to work in houses. I didn't know if I wanted to work in commercial. I'd heard that those production builders did really crappy houses, and nobody should ever want to work for one.
In some cases,
In
not
some
all cases maybe.
Well, and now I work for a production builder doing amazing houses, so they're not all bad.
Yeah, and so maybe let's pause there for a second
Yeah.
because so we've been presenting to students across the state, just like at
Yeah.
App State and other community colleges and whatnot. And one of the things that we're answering pretty frequently is, okay, they're maybe interested in sustainability technology, maybe green building, but they don't know like what type of building they
Mhm.
maybe want to work in. And then they maybe don't
Yeah.
know, maybe they do know actually that they're kind of an office person with maybe marketing, design, something
Yeah.
like that, or field.
Yeah.
So maybe take us back to like how you were kind of seeing that. It sounds like if you've been at a solar company,
Mhm.
weatherization in the attic, maybe you weren't so interested in field, but it helped you
Yeah.
understand that homes was where you wanted to be.
Yeah, and I mean, I love being out in the field as much as I can. The way I put it, I don't want to be the person swinging the hammer, but I want to be there to help him know how to swing that hammer best.
Okay.
That's kind of the metaphor I put. So I kind of have a dual role, being in the office and in the field. And for me, I really, I was really led to houses because of Gene Myers.
Okay.
He's the owner, and his passion for building
Mhm.
great houses is what really drew me back to houses.
Mhm.
I was kind of fed up with housing. It can be a little looser, a little more rough and tumble than the commercial world can be. The commercial world is very rigid,
Mhm.
and I was thinking that I was looking for that, and it turns out I was just looking for the right home builder to go work for.
Okay, so the home builder that happened to have won the 2017 Green Builder of the Year, or was it
Yep.
Builder of the Year for
Builder
Builder
of the
Magazine?
Year.
Builder of the Year for Builder Magazine, Gene Myers.
Yep.
Is now your boss, so that's a pretty good person to work for.
It's an incredible person to work for.
Okay, so so in school, kind of learning about different parts of the industry, and then how did you transition from school to now you're here? How did that happen?
Yeah, so I was at a design competition. I was at Race to Zero.
Race to Zero, okay.
Which is hosted here in Golden, Colorado, at NREL's facility. And we had been presenting, and I finished up for the day, and I had this short little career connections piece, and I went and talked with the home builder at the end and had this 30-minute conversation about indoor air quality and how
Mhm.
it was going to be the next energy efficiency.
Okay.
And you know, it was Gene, and we had this great conversation. I ended up making a great connection there. Got back to App State, and was then told that he was looking for interns.
Oh.
So I made it work out. Came out to Denver, was an intern,
Mhm.
then went back to App, graduated, and then was able to come back out here.
So did you know at the time when you went back that there was going to be a job available? Or
There was hints and there was hopes, but
Okay.
you know, in the grand scheme of thing, it wasn't something that I was going to depend on.
right.
But I was really hoping to come
Okay.
back.
So I think what I want to make sure we can tell some people out there that are listening into this. Internships in the industry are important because
Very
you can
important.
go in, maybe not get paid very much, but you're going to get really good experience.
Absolutely.
And in your case, going from North Carolina out to Colorado for an internship
Yep.
led you back here for a full-time job at the Builder of the Year.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
It worked out really well.
Worked out really well, it seems like it.
Yeah.
Good. So, so now that you're here, what's your favorite part of the job? What's the thing that motivates you to come in, day after day?
So it's kind of two areas. One, the biggest thing that I love is getting to work with the people in the company and really provide that technical knowledge of here's how we do better. It's great from all sides, talking with our design people and really having the opportunity to give input. That point is awesome. And then talking with our construction people and showing the actual techniques of, oh, well, we were wanting to air seal here and here's how we're gonna do it, and walking them through it and doing that training. And then also getting to work with our salespeople. It's a opportunity I really didn't think that I would have or even like, but it's been great to help them understand how to sell a green home and how to get buyers excited about sustainability and about energy efficiency.
Right.
Has been really, really great.
Okay. So on that note, one question that we've been asking some of our members in interviews like this is, what do building owners not know about their buildings? So maybe for you, I'd phrase that as you came in here as a building scientist to a good home builder, which maybe now is a great home builder thanks to some things that you're doing. Generally speaking, what are maybe some things that maybe folks didn't know, or maybe some of the subcontractors that you're working with maybe didn't know about green building, high performance construction? Anything that was kind of like an aha moment that just kind of stuck with you?
Yeah. I think from the subcontractor side, one of the aha moments for me was the lack of training for some of our subcontractors, and talking with these guys in the field. It's been interesting to see them grow, and meeting a guy who's standing in a house with a can of spray foam, getting ready to do draft stopping and air sealing, and talking to him, and he's going like, I've been at this for 2 weeks, I was flipping hamburgers before, what do I do? Okay. And it sounds a little odd, but then I've seen the value of having me there to say, here's what I need you to do, and he does it great now. So it's that's something interesting from the subcontractor side. From the home buyer side, I think a lot of people just aren't realizing what the actual benefit of a healthy home is, or even an energy efficient home. Their first thought is like, oh, well, I'll have lower energy bills. And that's just the starting point, right? And really getting to go through and ask them the questions like, did you have a drafty house before? Well, you're not here. Did you ever feel stuffy in your old house? Well, probably not going to be here. Okay. And getting to have that experience and helping them relate to the actual benefits of the home, not just the specifications of the home.
Okay. Wow. All right. That's good. So let's go to maybe some advice that you might have for students. So for folks that are in school, different types of colleges, 2-year program, 4-year program, maybe pursuing something else. Maybe they're looking at our industry, maybe they're not. What do you think is just some advice for understanding our industry a little bit and maybe kind of finding, that internship opportunity or something else that would just kind of help them get informed, knowledgeable about what we do here?
Yeah, I think getting hands-on always helps. I look back in North Carolina, there's some great Habitat affiliates.
There are.
That are doing incredible houses.
That is true.
So getting to experience it hands-on is always great. But if they're interested, try to find a house. Try to find a performance house and go visit. See if the home buyer or homeowner will let you come walk their house. I know it sounds a little weird, but I remember really getting it the first time I was walking a house, and I was accustomed to this. Had just gone through all of its finishes. Accustomed to walking into the house, and it smells. Right. It smells that chemical. I kind of got used to it, and it wasn't a bad smell anymore, but it was a smell. And then walking into a was a lead house that had done a lot for indoor air quality, and walking in and it's like, I don't smell anything. I don't smell the finishes, I don't smell the carpet, I don't smell your cabinets, like, I don't smell anything. They go, yep, that's the goal.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, getting hands-on, and then finding somebody who's doing it. You know, the internship is great, but I've found a lot of people in this industry, they want to give back.
Mm-hmm.
They want to help other people.
Right.
And so finding somebody who's doing it, I'm sure there's plenty of people in North Carolina would be glad to give somebody 10 minutes of their time.
There's a few, and
Yeah.
we appreciate you offering your time so we can help teach some other people as well. So
Yeah.
maybe that's another good question then, just maybe other than Gene, because I would imagine Gene, but as a mentor or
Mhm.
somebody that you were looking up to or sort of looking at, who might that have been for you, or maybe, you know, how would you kind of go about finding somebody like that if somebody is interested?
Yeah, I look at a lot of the professors I had at App.
Mm-hmm.
They were great instructors who just had so much knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. You know, I had a great mentor working in the Office of Sustainability when I was as an undergraduate,
Mm-hmm.
and that was part of what when I graduated from college left me feeling frustrated in how buildings were going, because sitting there going, we could do better. Why
Yeah.
aren't we? But you know, those are the two main focuses. I mean, I look back, looking right now, I have an amazing mentor who's a salty old builder who's been in construction for probably 35 years, and he's been a superintendent for the past 15 years at least. And you know, he doesn't know all of the building science, but he knows so much about how a house goes together
Mm-hmm.
that we fit together and we understand. He's like, oh yeah, if I just did that better, and can explain it in a lot better way than I can. So it's nice to have somebody who, they may not be the most educated in building science, but somebody who knows homes
Mm-hmm.
and knows how buildings go together.
Okay.
It's a great person to find.
Okay, so maybe that's a good question then about sort of the business model. So
Mhm.
you as a building scientist working for a large builder,
Mhm.
I'd say, that's putting out great homes. For maybe other builders that would be looking to improve the quality of their work, do you have to have a building science consultant on staff to sort of give you that third party, sort of still internal to the company quality control, quality assurance, or do you rely on product suppliers? I mean, what's been your experience with that?
I think there's opportunities for both.
Mhm.
I mean, I look at my position and I know that it is special,
It
and
is.
there are very few builders across the country that would even think about having a position like this.
Right.
Or could afford to have a position like this.
Sure.
So I look at it, having somebody who is able to spend some time and really understand the nuts and bolts in building science is super helpful,
Mhm.
especially if you want to look for ways to improve. But also, I would say rely on your manufacturers.
Mhm.
Well, I know of several off the top of my head. I look at like Owens Corning, DuPont, Mitsubishi, and several others.
Yeah.
I'm just going through that. All have people there to help builders build better,
Mhm.
and to understand how to build better.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might try to sell you a little bit, but once you get to those people, they're not the salespeople. They're
Mhm.
there to help you do better.
Yeah. That's good feedback. So maybe just to sort of put the focus back on some students and sort of another maybe sort of big picture piece of advice.
Yeah.
So what would you suggest any part of this conversation for a student to look at or pay attention to? Is it a specific part of their education? Is it the in-field experience that you mentioned? Is it, you know, studying things online? What would sort of be your just one piece of advice for students that are looking to get into this industry?
one piece of advice.
Maybe two.
Maybe two. I gotta say the first piece of advice was learn and practice at taking complicated ideas and breaking them down into simpler ones.
Okay.
That it's incredible how often I'm doing that, and it's not because of the caliber of people that I'm around. I have great people to work with, but it's more being on the cutting edge of the field. You can't always rely on everyone having the same knowledge base. You gotta make it make sense in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second piece of advice, I'd say get out there.
Yep.
You know, get your hands dirty, swing a hammer if you want, or work in an office, or just being around a builder would be my next best bit of advice.
Okay, great. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
All right, well, I'd like to thank everybody for listening in for this interview with Nathan, and we appreciate his time, and please stay tuned for further interviews and wisdom from NCBPA members and students alike from the past. So, Nathan, we appreciate your time, and thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you.